Okay, yet again, welcome. Glad that you're here. Glad that you have tuned in. Going to continue and actually wrap up today the works of God. We've been doing this Theology 101, and if you remember in attending the church, what feels like forever ago now, but really a month and a half ago, we started in on Theology 101, looking at the existence of God and the person of God and the attributes of God. And now the works of God, which was a sermon that I was going to preach, and then we had a crazy snowstorm, and now we're dealing with all kinds of coronavirus scares and things like that. And so we're doing some YouTube and Facebook videos. But we're going to finish the last section on the works of God today. What we've covered so far is in the works of God are His decrees, His creation, and His preservation. What we're looking at today is His providence, the providence of God. So God continuously makes all the events of the physical and moral universe fulfill the original plan for which He created it. We see in Psalms 103 verse 19, the Lord has made the heavens His throne. From there He rules over everything. You know, if you want a really good look at the providence of God, walk your way down through chapter 104. It says, just to hit a couple of these, it says, you stretch out the starry curtain of the heavens, you lay out the rafters of your home in the rain clouds. You make springs pour water into the ravines, so streams gush down from mountains. I'm just skipping down through some verses. You send rain on the mountains from your heavenly home, and you fill the earth with the fruit of your labor. You cause grass to grow for the livestock and plants for people to use, and you allow them to produce food from the earth. You made the moon to mark the seasons, and the sun knows when to set. You send darkness, and it becomes night. O Lord, what a variety of things you have made. In wisdom you've made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Here's the ocean, vast and wide, teeming with life of every kind, both large and small. They all depend on you for food to give them food as they need it. When you supply it, they gather it. You open your hand to feed them, and they're richly satisfied. I love how the psalmist finishes this chapter with, may the glory of the Lord continue forever. The Lord takes pleasure in all He has made. The earth trembles at His glance, the mountains smoke at His touch. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will praise my God to my last breath. May all my thoughts be pleasing to Him, for I rejoice in the Lord. Let all that I am praise the Lord. It's absolutely incredible, God's providence. So preservation that we looked at yesterday, preservation has to do with the continuance of God's creation. Providence is the development and care and control over the creation. Not just the creation itself as we see, kind of the earth itself, that's included, but also included is the actions of men, including the actions of men with regard to man's acts of evil, which isn't an overly exciting thing to talk about, but with regard to man's acts of evil, God's providence is, we see in Genesis, it's preventative, where in Genesis, God held back Abraham from sinning. But it's also permissive. In the book of Acts, we see that God permitted nations to go their own ways. It's also directive, where Joseph told his brothers in the book of Genesis, what you intended for harm, God has used for good. So preventative, permissive, directive, but God's providence is also determinative. When Job was tested by God, God prescribed the bounds and the effects. What an amazing God that we have. Also with God's interaction to men. If you remember Moses, as he's leading the Israelites, Moses had said to the Lord, you've been telling me, take these people up to the promised land, but you haven't told me who you will send with me. You have told me, I know you by name and I look favorably on you. If it's true that you look favorably on me, Moses says, let me know your ways that I may understand you more fully and continue to enjoy your favor. And remember, this nation is your very own people. And the Lord The Lord replied, our one ever true and living God replied to Moses by saying, I will personally go with you. He says, my presence will go with you. You see, when we consider who God is and we consider his works, his decrees, his creation, his preservation, his providence, he is the reason we are still here today. We were made for times like this, you guys. So let's each personally and as the church, let's go with God. Instead of seeking God's hands, let's seek his face. Thank you for following along. Glad you've come along for this. We're going to have one on Sunday. I believe it's going to be around 10 or 11. We'll let you know in the morning so we can do a church service, be a little bit longer. You can check out the sermon. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.